Let me just state what my objective is. Number one, I'm not looking to relinquish my responsibility. I really need to make that clear. I'm looking for a loan modification or a workout plan equitable to my financial situation and with my already increased living expenses. The current existing balance on my loan is $208,000. Today's market value of my home per Wells Fargo's appraisal of June of this year, your appraisal came out and it appraised it at 139. So that would say that I am underwater. I think my proposal is a win-win to include the following. If I were to enter into this agreement, that would put my arrearages somewhere over a $30,000 range. I don't know exactly where that is. I want to stop the bleeding. I did a mortgage calculation, and this is what I see as a win-win. My current value is $139,000. Adding in the $25,000 I owe now to the loan makes the loan $164,000. I would be willing to pay 4% for 5 years with a 40-year amortization, a stepladder program, bringing the interest rate to 5% the 5th year. My payments and taxes would then be $645 or $43.45 a month. A very doable payment for me at 72, and we would both win. I stay and I pay. That's mine. That's my proposal.
Okay. But you do understand that modifications are not negotiable. The investor does not negotiate. They have specific guidelines, and that's what they go with. They're not going to change the rules per case. They're not going to manipulate their guidelines per case. They're going to go with what their guidelines are, and that's it. They do not negotiate.
Whose guidelines?
The investor's guidelines.
And who's the investor?
That's proprietary information, and I can't release what their guidelines are.
I don't think that's proprietary information.
Yes, it is. We are specifically told we are not allowed to give out investor guidelines, and we can't give out, I can give you your investor name, but I can't give you an address, I can't give you any information of any kind as to
I'm not asking you to
their
do
phone
that.
number or anything.
Oh, no, I'm not asking that, Robin. I'm just asking who the investor is.
Who is the investor?
I'm looking up because it's just a code, so I have to look it up on a different system.
Right,
So if you can bear with me one moment.
Okay.
Your investor is GMAC Master Servicing.
That this quote forbearance, albeit the language is really inadequate and not acceptable for anyone. I mean, to sign this in its poorly written form, its inaccurate form would really be unconscionable, wouldn't it? Because we're engaging in an agreement that puts my mom at jeopardy were anything to, be inaccurate in that statement. So you would expect us to demand a clearly written, specific, and well thought out statement.
Well, Robin, I have to get back to all those documents that I sent in again, and I have to, I say this jokingly, but I'm not joking. I've done this 10 times now. I have submitted documents, and the last, I believe that I crossed every I and crossed every T and dotted every I, and showed that I am capable now of these payments. So what more can I do? What more needs to be done that hasn't already been done?
Bear with me a second, I'm looking at something. Well, it looks to me like the plans you were on previously, and I'm just going by the notes, were situations where they were asking you to attempt to improve your financial situation. In this case, it's different because it is stating that if you make these 4 payments, then as a trial period, then you've proven your ability to make the payments, you've made them on time. I understand you've always made the other payments on time. I completely understand that. But this case, just because of a few words and what the investor's looking at, they finally have decided that if they give you this payment in the amount of $900 some odd, and you can make those for 4 months, then they are going to completely confirm that you can afford the property and then say, well, then modify your loan.
It's been stated now twice in this phone call, and of course you understand that she's already done this and she was rejected, and now we have a new lender saying a new thing. So I'm left to assume, or I would say, the previous time she did this, we were dealing with a different lender.
No, that's not what I said. What I said was the previous ones you were doing was because they didn't deem the property affordable. So they were giving, in their minds, they were allowing her extra time to improve her financial situation because they could not find affordability. Now is the new financials that you sent to Hannah and me and myself. They can prove that the affordability is there, but now they want to make sure by her making these next 4 payments that what the financials that they have are truly correct and that it's not going to be a problem for her to make those payments. But they have to allow a certain time frame. Every modification that we have, you have to go through a trial period and make the proposed modified payments and show that you can make those payments. They won't modify a loan if you don't do that.
Well, I have
They
already.
want confirmation of it.
All right, but Robin, I have done that. I have done that before. I have.
The other ones were not mod SF, mod SFs. They were specifically moratoriums and special forbearances to allow you time to improve your financial situation. I know you made those payments on time, but they were not precursors to a modification.
Okay.
But that's what I understood them to be when I was making those payments, and then they sent them back to me with no notification, nothing to tell me why they sent my $4,012
They
back.
returned the money to her with no letter, no statement of why she was rejected, then they proceeded to foreclosure. So they sent the money back, and then they initiated another foreclosure
So don't
proceeding.
you see that I'm a little bit shell-shocked here?
Oh, I understand that.
So I think at this point, I'd like to say, if that is actually the case, and you're saying that the previous time that she was put through this, quote, trial period, that was just a special forbearance, you have to then appreciate, when we read the letter that was sent here, the exact statement on the letter is that this is a special forbearance agreement. So it's lending no confidence whatsoever that what she's signing here is what you're saying it is. So in order for her to move forward, in order to do what you're saying, I believe that what needs to be executed is a document that states clearly she's entering into a loan modification trial period. And that needs to be said with great clarity, with precision, no sloppy paperwork. And by the way, I'd like to add that in the paperwork that was sent, all the documents that she has been told she has to have back to you in 5 days were not in the package. The paperwork that she's required to send back in 5 days were not in the package. There was only one piece of paper. This green slip, I don't know if you're familiar with this green paper, but she was told that she must return to you within 5 days a truth and lending disclosure, and it was not in the package. So at this point, you've said that the paperwork...
And it must be notarized.
Yes, and the language on the paperwork, to your own admission, is poor, sloppy, and inadequate, does not clearly define what it is she's signing. And number 2, the paperwork does not include truth and lending disclosure, which must be signed and notarized within 5 days. So by your own admission, this is poor workmanship, and it's not adequate and is unacceptable. So if we're to move forward to a logical conclusion, which, as I understand your role, is to help her by every possible means to stay in her home. If this is the next step, then she needs a document that states clearly, specifically, with no ambiguity, exactly what she's signing, which is a loan modification trial period, so that she can prove her worthiness in 4 months and proceed to a modified loan according to the terms that the lender will agree to, which may include, as you stated, an interest rate reduction, a term extension of the term of the note, and a remodifying of her existing loan so she can stay in her home.